Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is that guy, Tommy.
Yo.
And we got Big Mike.
I got done for that. 2024 is almost done. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, and exhausted that guy, Tommy. I guess.
Yeah.
Bruh. I'm still like, dude, you have no idea. I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
I actually had like one less panel than what was scheduled, and I still was running because Sunday, dude, I don't think I sat down more than 5 minutes after I got there, and not counting when I sat for the panels. But even then, yeah. So anyway, long story. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, quite the weekend here, especially with the weather, and the cold doesn't help it a whole lot very much either. So, but we're almost halfway through December, guys. Yeah. So,
jeez, this South threw off my timing altogether.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we're going to spend some time today talking about NXT Deadline, which took place this past weekend, and talk a bit about TNA Final Resolution, the final TNA event of the year, and discuss a little bit of wrestling news too. So, yeah.
Mundo and Jason, what's up?
Thanks for joining. If you're joining us in the live chat, please feel free to share your thoughts and everything with us as well. So,
yes, sir.
On the wrestling news side of things, we if you haven't heard already, All-In tickets are on sale, of course, for All-In Texas, which is going to be in July in Globe Life Park in Arlington. I believe Bryan Danielson confirmed he's going to be there.
He's going to be there. Obviously he hasn't said match or whatever, but he'll be in the building.
He'll be in the building. Starcast is going to be. I want to say there's a part of that event, right? Is that what they said?
So they're what's his name? Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
Announced that'll be back. So basically, I assume like a WrestleCade, like a WrestleCon type thing. Probably mostly AEW related, but also obviously a lot of legends that
I wonder if they're going to try and do that in the convention center in Dallas, because it's a bit of a drive from Arlington, or what they're going to do from there. So because it's
sorry. I was gonna say that's kind of what they did, like when WrestleCon was. It was like at a different hotel, like because I remember when we went to Dallas that time, it was at a different hotel than the last time we were in Dallas for WrestleCon when I went for that weekend. So,
because
they just put it wherever they could.
But isn't there like a big complex around the stadium of stuff, or am I
Globe Live? I don't know, unless they're going to use the old. Geez, I don't even know what they could use. Unless they got out and just go ahead and use AT&T Stadium, but I doubt it. I don't know, because when we went to WrestleMania 32, it was in AT&T Stadium in Arlington,
right?
But the access was in Dallas at the convention center.
Yeah,
Tommy was getting free wherever Ring of Honor was at the time.
Okay, that's true that time.
Okay,
yeah, that was true.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was like an.
I thought you were like talking about like more recent. I was like, oh no, wait, actually no, wait, that time was true.
You did, exactly.
That's when that didn't happen.
And also, just on a side note, that's coming up to being 10 years way too fast.
Yeah,
and we're like 8 years out, and before you know it, we're going to be talking about 10 years ago we went to WrestleMania.
Kind of wild, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's a really, really good point. That
time is a
cruel
made-up thing. Yes,
it really is. So that's kind of what's going on the wrestling news front. Saturday Night Main Event, that card is taking shape. That's this weekend, isn't it?
So the first one from New York or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I forget where it is, but that's this Saturday night.
Yeah,
and supposedly, like, the big thing is they're going to go old school. They're not going to have the big Tron entrance. They're going to come down the aisleway, old school, with just the little, the little entrance.
Right.
And then I guess somewhat big news is supposedly, if I saw this correctly, Jesse Ventura is going to be back. I don't know if doing commentary the whole show, but is supposed to be back making an appearance on the broadcast. So
Yeah.
very interesting.
Gonna be at the Nassau Coliseum. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens is the main
Right.
event. There's also on the card Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre, Gunther versus Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan defending against Io Sky, and then for the inaugural Women's United States Championship, it's going to be Bailey or Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim or Tiffany Stratton. So,
A lot of
I
places to
think,
go there.
yeah, those semifinal matches are taking place this Friday on SmackDown. And the main event of that tournament to crown the first one is going to be on Saturday.
I don't see Tiffany winning because I feel like they're going to still milk the Money in the Bank thing for all they can. But that's
I'm
just
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I have a feeling it's going to be the Chelsea Green. It's going to be Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim. Nothing
Yeah.
against Bailey, but they're gonna work that.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get involved and either screw Bailey or Chelsea's actually gonna be on the right side of because it feels like the last several weeks or maybe even months, she tries to cheat and what's her name, Piper Niven, winds up squashing her.
yeah.
Right.
So, but no, I think that I agree with you on that one.
Yep. Do you think we get a title change Saturday?
I was actually just wondering about that.
Like the Cody title?
That, yeah.
Well, Gunther's a triple threat. It could be
yeah.
Damian pinning Finn or Finn pinning Damian. Gunther doesn't have to get pinned to lose his championship. So
I almost there's a sick part of me that kind of wants Finn to win it on Saturday and then lose it back on Monday so they can say, "Hey, at least you were champion for 48 hours this time."
That's messed up.
I know, but part of my evil booking brain, that's where I would go with that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so used to right now Triple H going with long reigns that
I know.
Usually
Yeah.
get
And
lost
and
at
that's
big
why-
events. I don't know, maybe.
And that's why I think that one swerve would actually make people. It would actually be funny.
It would be, yeah.
And I think Finn would actually think that would be hilarious in a way,
Yeah.
So.
What's up, Angel? I know you said you can't hear us, so hi. And then Steady,
Hi, Angel.
What New Year's Evil announcement?
is he talking about NXT? Wasn't NXT running a show on New Year's
I
Eve?
think
Yeah.
NXT is New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what specific, like the announcement of it or something specific on the show.
I think he just means the announcement of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here's what we know for that one. Trick versus Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the results from Deadline, Oba gets the title shot, but he replaced Eddie Thorpe in the match, so Eddie Thorpe was like, hey, I get a shot too. So, and then Roxanne Perez going to be defending against Julia, who won the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. So, Yep.
Ren was robbed. I'm saying
Well, we can talk about it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about
robbed.
that too. So,
Also, have you seen the interview Owens did with Chris Van Fleet, I think?
I have not.
I haven't.
It was him or someone, one of the internet interview guys. But basically talking about the three things he hates most about Cody Rhodes. And one was
I saw a list someone put up.
Yeah,
I know where it was from, though.
So I just love that it was he made his own, American Nightmare tracksuit and got QB stitched on it, because he calls himself the quarterback. He's like, no one calls you the quarterback, Cody. That's I forgot the middle thing, but then the third thing was the dyeing his hair blonde. That now you go to shows and there's a whole bunch of little kids, with their hair dyed blonde, and don't the parents know that bleach, the stuff bleaches into their, soaks into their brain and messes with them, and it was funny. And
Yeah.
Again, someone who's right about most of what he's saying. Again, I don't know if they're going to go this far, but when McIntyre came back too, I don't remember if it was a promo afterwards or online, but when he talked about why he came back, again, not really wrong. Again, another person like Owens who fought Roman Reigns says Roman Reigns hasn't changed, and everyone just sided with him, and he said the same thing, and that's why he's going after Sammy and Jay, who had turned against Roman at one point. So I'm like, do Owens and McIntyre, and then what was the other person I was thinking of? One other person, Seth.
Seth, yeah.
Even though Seth and Sammy kind of
Squash their beef.
yeah, I guess to the best of what it is, but McIntyre and Owens wouldn't be a bad little 2-man power trip.
United
Is someone's
had their
audio
question.
crackling? Is that mine?
Is it mine? Probably.
Maybe. I feel like I hear crackling. Do y'all?
It's probably
A little
mine
bit.
if you hear it. Let me check. So
Okay.
let me go on mute until I fix this. You guys keep
Okay.
going.
But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really getting sick of this era of heels I agree with. It's kind of like there's a guy on YouTube who's like, man, what happened to villains just being evil for evil's sake? I'm not trying to sympathize with the bad guy in this. I totally get why Hangman is still angry. I get why Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. Of course, then again, with Drew McIntyre, I feel like, I feel less like, oh, I'm going to get revenge on you guys for siding with Roman Reigns. More like, oh, I lost to CM Punk. I need somebody else to hit. Just say that, dude. Just say you want someone else to hit. Don't lie to the people.
Probably also true. But
don't lie to people say, oh, no, I'm in this righteous mission because how dare they side with Roman Reigns. Nah, fool. You lost to CM Punk, and your salty ass want to go fight somebody else. You're Scottish. Just say you want to fight somebody. That's in your DNA. It's okay to say that.
Probably also true, but still, I mean, those reasons he does give are legitimate. Also,
and that's why he wasn't on TV so long. He was at home trying to figure out how can I justify kicking Sami Zayn's ass. Roman Reigns. That's how I'll do it.
You know how we go back and watch some of the 80s and 90s like Hogan stuff and realize he's kind of a dick as a face at different. And I don't just mean that because we find out like when you actually go back and look at storylines like the Sid Justice thing at the 92 Rumble, and basically like in the 80s, like if something bad happened to the faces, even if it was like legitimate, they made it sound like it was an evil thing. And I kind of feel like they're doing that with Cody in this story a little bit, where like he's kind of being a douchey good guy. So interesting to see how it goes.
I also feel like there was this like feeling that you had guys like Stone Cold who were like basically evil the whole time. It's just that everybody liked their evil, So
yeah,
I think that's almost what they're kind of going with. Not so much with who did I just say? Drew McIntyre, but more like with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like more like because like when you said interview, I thought you were gonna bring up the one he did with Michael Cole, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was in the car.
Because I was like, okay, this is just like, and Cole's probably thinking, is Vincent charging in? Why is everybody taking shots at me? What the hell did I do?
Oh, and there's a few other things, just real quick. Apparently, I don't know if it was in the same interview, if Owen's done a few this past week. He says that he is, like, for several years in a row, tried to get Shawn to come back out one more time of retirement to have a match like he had with Austin. And, Shawn keeps telling him politely no, and he's like, the next time I ask him, he's probably just going to tell me to F off at this point because he won't do it.
Yeah.
And then I think this was an older interview, but he was talking about when he asked Stone Cold to – I saw this clip when he asked Stone Cold to use the stunner because he felt like his finisher, the powerbomb stuff, was kind of getting overplayed or whatever. Yeah. And then at the time he was like – and he also was like, well, also, if he lets me use the stunner, at some point, if Austin's going to come back, he's going to fight the guy who has his finisher, right? He's like, and it worked out. And I got a main event at WrestleMania. I was like, he's like, I played the long game on that one. I was like, yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it. Yeah.
Jason says Owens to win the Winged Eagle title over Cody. Ooh.
That would be a certain kind of sick justice.
And then does he like rip off his shirt and he's got like a Dusty shirt or a polka dot?
Right.
Actually, that would be actually pretty perfect. That came in front. I'm actually preferring this more the more we talk about it. The more we discuss it, the more I'm like, I actually want to see this now.
Yeah, and also because that original group of NXT people have such a connection to Dusty as kind of one of the last, groups he was mentoring before, he passed away.
Yeah.
Like Owens and Bailey and Sammy and like the horsewomen mainly and all that. So
yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens on Saturday Night Main Event. It is this Saturday. I want to say 7 p.m. Central Time.
I think so.
Simulcasting on NBC and Peacock at the exact same time. So if you miss it live, you probably go check it out on demand on Peacock as well. So,
one other news thing. Now that you said the streaming simultaneously. New Year's, I think January 1st is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
Right? Of that week. So that night, they are going to have a Dynamite. and that is going to be the initial one that is live on TBS and streamed simultaneously on Max. So
thank God, I
Oh,
can finally watch it live.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to find it afterward. I don't have TNTs, but whenever something's on TNT or TBS and like a sporting event,
yeah.
I can watch it on Max. I have Max through my AT&T fiber
Right.
setup. So yeah.
Jason, I love that old shirt.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's talk a bit about NXT Deadline, which took place this past Saturday. Full disclosure, it was not something I got to see. I've got like bits and pieces of it. Let me just say, throw Obafemi and Ethan Page in a penalty box anytime. It is freaking hilarious. So good.
I didn't get to watch it either, but just
Am I really the only one who watched it? Crazy.
Yeah, no, sorry. It was a nuts weekend.
No, I know you were gone. I got you.
Yeah.
But also, if we just want to talk about one match, honestly, I'm also okay with that. So,
I mean, really, I would love to just talk about the Iron Survivor Challenge matches, the results from that. Oba pinning two guys at once.
Yeah,
with,
okay.
Like, despair. I mean,
those clips, some of those clips I did see. So honestly, though, that's kind of how I would book him. Just this gigantic man who just like steamrolls everyone.
But like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think back because I don't remember the previous Iron Survivors. Like, I don't remember all the details. But like, have they allowed simultaneous pins? Because that, Mike, I mean, it was an interesting storytelling technique, but I was like, what's
Mike,
up? Yes.
You look at Obafemi and you tell him what he's not allowed to do and see how that works out for you.
Here's my thought. Like
Shawn Michaels.
I know Oba at this point has never been pinned.
No, not true.
Well, I thought he lost.
He's lost to the Don. What's his name?
Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo. That was off a triple threat though.
No,
he's been pinned.
Oh, he's been pinned. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's a rare occurrence. So for Ethan Page
to
get in the middle of this match is pretty big. With only for like a few seconds later. No, you're in the box with him. Deal with him now.
No, that was funny. Yeah.
So, good stuff like that. It was just, but it was booked so well. It really was.
Yeah. No, I mean it was.
Yeah.
I just something like that. I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of upset because, like we talked about, I picked because of the dice Eddie Thorpe, and then he gets attacked. Although the way it played out on Tuesday after everything, I was like, okay, kind of clever. I'll go with that.
Yeah. So. But like I said, Oba gets the title shot. Thorpe also gets the title shot from the attack. So they're both going to be facing Trick Williams at New Year's Evil.
Wait, you know how the Thorpe story played out, right?
I don't. I haven't gotten to see NXT since.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
he wasn't attacked. He played them.
Oh.
He pretended that he got attacked so he could avoid being in the Iron Survivor, then to play on what's her name, Ava's sympathies, to let him come and get him into the match. And then after he signed the contract, he tells her, because she was like, "We're still looking for who attacked you." He's like, "I know who attacked me. It was me." He was like, "It was me. I avoided 25 minutes of hell, and I got my title shot." And I was like, "Okay, all right."
Thorpe screwed Thorpe, except he didn't, because he actually wasn't attacked. That he got himself into the. Okay, that analogy doesn't work like I thought it would. Okay.
Yeah. Do you really want to deal with that? Because now you got to deal with Obafemi and Trick Williams at the same time. So it's like
Angel, we're going to talk about
black it dudes, and one of them is a gigantic angry black dude.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, my friend. So.
Angel, give us a few minutes to talk about the other matches, and we will spend the rest of the hour talking about that last one.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's just mention Lola Vice defeats Jada Parker by technical submission.
That was
Yeah.
NXT
NXT
that was interesting.
Right. Frazier and Axiom defeat No Quarter Catch Crew, which surprised us. We all thought they were losing titles.
Yeah.
Okay. And the funny thing was, right? People were like, they assumed the New Day was about to break up before the stuff that happened on the week before. There was, I saw this TikTok, and they're like, if you also break up Frazier and Axiom, and then this, and it's like they Frazier goes through the Iron Survivor, he's all beat up. Axiom, it's like they're giving him a super face push, and I really thought No Quarter Catch Crew was, or Ren QQ was gonna pull it off, and then I was like, oh, All right.
This interesting dynamic with that tag team. Like they're fighting, they're not fighting. One's like literally gets pinned at the end of the Iron Survivor, and then turn around 15 minutes later. Now you still got to wrestle. It's
Right.
like wow, so
It was yeah. I was like, okay, I was shocked, but
Yeah.
it was a good match. Like obviously all 4 of them can go, so
yeah. Trick Williams defeats Rich Holland to retain the NXT Championship. You really worried Ridge was going to get it?
Yes.
Yes.
I was too.
You got to understand. Again, I don't watch NXT on a regular basis except for Ren's stuff, but I do keep up with what happens because of the other podcasts I follow, and they have been building him up. He broke up Chase U, which was one of their biggest, longest running stories and groups. They were giving him a lot of momentum, and also you got to feel like at some point maybe Trick's ready to go up. That was another thing we didn't really talk about, but apparently the transfer portal is open between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So instead of a draft, they're going to sign NIL deals to bring him over. But yeah.
Wait, is that what they're
well,
calling
if they were
it?
trying to hire Bill Belichick too late, he's actually going to coach at UNC now. So
no, that's what they were saying, that the transfer portal between the 3 brands is open.
Lord.
So apparently, like when it moves to Netflix, there'll be some people moving over to give him a big shot in the arm, and then I know.
Nope.
If they make NIL a storyline.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't care. And I don't care if I'm already thinking it. I'm gonna say it. So let me get this straight. Triple H said in the press conference that terms like "forbidden door" are corny or whatever he said, but transfer portal, ooh, that's new.
Because Tony Khan has never said transfer portal. That's why it's okay.
He didn't originally say forbidden door. Somebody else said that.
He said forbidden. I mean, he literally has a pay-per-view called Forbidden Door.
Well, he does now.
I know he did. I know he didn't originate it, but
I'm just.
No, I know. Look, Triple H got a lot of grace because the stuff that he should not be named did, and then he did improve a really sucky product.
Yeah.
But he's not perfect, and he has showed more than enough faults at times. We got to admit them.
I know, but transfer portal.
Oh, sure, Steady. I'm sure that won't be a problem. We'll just call our buddy Shawn Michaels and ask if we can get a WWE superstar on here.
Yeah, I totally have his number on my phone right now.
I mean, we don't know what Maddie's up to. Ren's probably pretty busy. I don't know what Ren's doing. Maybe Maddie's down in the helping El Generico down in Mexico at the orphanage, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, there's no way I would get Maddie panic attacks. Let's just start with that. Okay, so because if anything, because I would get panic attacks because she still loves my wife. So I mean, if that, I have that going for me.
I think that's the play we need to make is to have her.
Yeah, you might be the guy that has to make that happen.
Actually, that is the only play we have. I just have to sit
Actually, I feel like if your wife asked, Sean would be like, "Yeah, whatever, sure." I'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
Actually, yeah. You know what? I got no joke because you're 100% right.
Exactly.
That's just funny how they're playing on the whole transfer portal thing too. That's hilarious.
It's a door.
Oh God, Jason!
He became a nun.
Wow.
Was El Generico trying to flirt with her with his stretchy pants?
Okay, you know what?
It's for fun.
Full disclosure, I need to see this movie now. I need to see this. Okay.
Basically, Nacho Libre with El Generico and Maddie
and Maddie and Kevin Steen. Okay. You know what?
Can Kevin Steen be El Esqueleto?
Esqueleto.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just need to see this movie now. It's grown so many legs. This is also the other B movie I want to film.
So the next time WrestleMania goes Hollywood and they would start making parody movie trailers,
God!
I'm just saying this.
Please. Y'all think I'll play it? I'll write this.
No,
script.
I believe you.
I'll write the script tonight. I will drive to Orlando and pitch it to Triple H and just see what happens.
Yeah. WWE Films presents.
Hell,
all right.
Hell, I'm only kind of joking.
Yeah, I know. Finally, the main event. The women main eventing the NXT Deadline event with their Iron Survivor Challenge.
I'm glad that's not a weird thing anymore.
No, it's not, but it was pretty cool to see, and from the way the match played out, hell of a finish.
Yeah, it was a really good finish.
And honestly, the NXT women's main event scene is way ahead of the NXT men's main event scene.
Oh yeah,
because there are so many more talented people in line that it's interesting. And Trick's done pretty well, but a lot of those people moved up, and now it's like Ridge, and it was Ethan Page, and no disrespect to either of them, but no.
No.
But
yeah,
no.
thank you. Like no disrespect to them, but no. And I love, and that's kind of messed up because Trick finally got the belt, and then they kind of like took away everyone who challenged him.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying online, "Oh, Ren's just added so she can take a whole bunch of pins. She's not going to be a factor in the match." And now, granted, she did get pinned at the time.
Kind of true.
Kind of true, but
yeah, like we've talked about, who started? First of all, who was one of the first two in there?
Brent Sinclair.
Yep.
Ren Sinclair.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she was, not to steal a term from Cody, a quarterback for this match. And she had it started. She started off with Soul, right? With Sol Ruka?
No, with Julia.
No, Julia. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. So again, one of these like three big names you brought in. We talked about last week. You brought in the big name from Japan. You brought in the big name from CMLL. You brought in the big, huge woman from Australia. And who's the one you have doing the matches with all of them and making them look amazing? Ren.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
Right. Like she had, first of all, and because Angel mentioned this to me too, shout out to Maddie because she had the houndstooth in her gear. I don't know. I mean, if y'all haven't watched it, but I'm sure y'all have seen the clips. She had the houndstooth design in her gear, which was a huge shout out to old Maddie, stuff that she used to wear. And again, like we kind of talked about this last week, like by the time we were watching Maddie and her character, she wasn't as grapply, I guess, as you said, she was at the beginning, but I really like that they're letting her go back to that in this role with the Ren QCC. Again, I don't remember what point in the match. I don't think it was in the first two, but she pulled out the cattle mutilation that she then kind of rotates on, doing a lot of moves early on, and with a lot of them moves with Julia at the beginning of the show. Sol Ruka's kind of there. She's got a lot of talent. She's super athletic, not really great on a mic. Working on that, but they had stuff with her, and she pulled off. She got pinned a lot and took a lot of moves and made a lot of moments. Like I really feel like she was the glue that held that match together.
Really, and then Jason said it right there too. When she got over, when she finally did pin Sol Ruka,
the crowd was behind her.
Yeah, it was really a match for her to showcase what she can do, put her in the spotlight, main event of an NXT pay-per-view, and essentially tying the score all even with a minute to go. You're thinking, oh my God, we're going to get a 5-way sudden death.
And then within like 10 seconds, a chance to get that second pin. And that's when the crowd would be like, oh! Yeah. So close.
So close.
So, but I really watching it, thinking, God, we're going to get a 5-way sudden death, and that would have been pretty cool.
I honestly assumed that's what was coming.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, when I saw the clip, I was like, did they really go over time for this one? Okay, cool. Yeah.
So,
but then the last 10-second pin was also, I gotta admit, that was pretty cool too. I can't lie. I actually enjoyed that.
It was, I feel like Roxanne's time in NXT, we've said this for like a year and a half now.
But this is Julia's second shot at her, right? I mean, she's been a high-profile free agent signing. Tommy, I know how excited you were that she was going to be there.
Yep.
With the new year, does she beat Roxanne Perez?
I want to say yes.
Right.
Also, the transfer portal. So
yeah.
But, oh my God! Is that another thing in wrestling I'm gonna hate saying for the rest of my life?
Probably.
It's the middle of the bowl game season too, so only
it's transfer portal. It's this. It's that. It's anything the treats come up with. I just hate.
She sees that quarterback coming in right behind her, so she knows if she goes to Raw, she'll get some playing time. I don't know.
Look, for all those wanting the transfer portal to make it better, look, I'm gonna say this. Army had a great season. Navy had a great season. Air Force had a good season. Clemson made the playoff, and they didn't use the transfer portal. So, if college football is any indication, you don't got to rely on the transfer portal.
I was gonna say because it was like Army, Navy, they can't use Air Force.
Exactly,
Can't
that's
use
the joke.
Yeah,
The service academies really can't. But Clemson's the only school that didn't bother with the transfer portal, and they still made the playoff. Which is, just saying, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever. You don't have to fully rely on the transfer portal to do something good. No. Now, if you want to get the storylines intense, if you start invoking the transfer portal and it brings Joe Hendry permanently over to NXT, or Jordan Grace for that matter, then we're getting interesting here. You start going cross promotion. So.
But this is assuming. I wasn't even thinking about that, Angel. I really wasn't. And I completely lost my train of thought because she keeps bringing that up. I completely forgot what I was going to say. No, I got it now. Let's go. Well, I'm old, so of course I'm going to train of thought. Anyway, no, if they use it in a way that is fun, sure, but I don't have that confidence right now. I really don't, because they started with calling it transfer portal.
Look, as long as they keep a running list of who's in the transfer portal, right?
As long as there's not constant shots to a draft room like they had done on previous Raw and SmackDowns, where there's random executives. And I think when Fox was on SmackDown, they had the robot in the room at one point, the Fox football robot. I don't need that. If you want to say that, what's his name, Adam Pearce and who's the other one, Nick Aldis, and then Ava from NXT, had discussions, and I don't know if they want to consider them trades or allow certain people to switch shows. That's fine, but
let's call it the do what maybe the baseball does and call it the winter meetings, because that's really
don't make it too hokey. That's over the top.
Too late.
Wow.
All right. Well, how did we do on our picks for Deadline? Tommy 1-4. Myself and Mike went 2-3. Mike gave you credit for Obafemi because he did technically replace.
So 1-4 with a lucky whatever.
With a lucky roll, because he did roll a die for that one. So
Also, one other thing, there's late in the match when I don't remember if it's after Ren gets hit with the Soul Crusher right as she comes back in, or if it was before that. But at one point, she's in the penalty box kind of late in the match, and I think Julia and Stephanie are taking out Zarya, and they power bomb her through the table. And I don't know if you've seen the picture of Ren watching from the penalty box, because the table's right there. So there's a picture someone got, and she's got this face watching as Zarya's going through. I know we're biased because we saw her for several years, but even on the show, you can tell she's got a personality. She's mint in the ring. I understand that the unsure underachiever with a lot of pep is maybe not the best character that connects with the crowd, but I feel like she's got that energy because the crowd does love her either way.
I was gonna say sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just that it's almost inevitable that she's gonna break through to something. So even if it's not the main title right now with these big names, go back down to that North American title. Yeah. Right? Let's I'm with you.
I want at this point I want her to have a belt. I'm starting to not care which one it is.
Either way, she's getting over, and it's a testament to who trained her, her training, and her hard work herself too.
Yeah,
to put that work in. So it's pretty amazing stuff.
I mean, when you're in a match with Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Zarya, and Soroka, and one of the loudest pops is when you get a pin.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
guys.
And the reaction when you almost get that second pin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that proves we're not just biased; we're also right.
Yeah.
So
also, she may have, because I haven't seen every match she's had. If she pulls off a Marvel special mid match, I'm gonna flip out.
I can see it. Yeah, little shout out. Oh, Tony Storm came back.
Oh, for real?
At Dynamite.
Well, because the main event was Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa.
Oh, cool.
Oh, but it's not Timeless Tony Storm.
Is it Tony Storm?
It's just Tony Storm.
Oh. Well, Tony Storm retired. Timeless Tony Storm retired. She's off, I don't know, working a farm or something from what I heard. So
yeah,
it's good to see she got in contact with Australian Tony Storm.
Well, you never
Yeah.
know. Timeless Tony Storm, she might have signed a deal with Marvel. You know, the NDAs can't talk about it today. That's what she's working on.
That's
tomorrow,
fair.
You know?
There is a multiverse and Doomsday coming up, so
Yeah.
apparently they're bringing back a bunch of old originals to possibly play different versions. So,
Which, by the way, as a quick side note, I love how people are getting mad about that. Like, these people aren't actors, and that's literally what they do their entire careers. So, sorry, go ahead. My bad.
All right, let's get into TNA Final Resolution, which is taking place this Friday. Now, we do have some matches to talk about. There's a couple of extra that have been added since then. On the pre-show, Leon Slater versus JDC, and I cannot believe this is a pre-show match. Frankie Kazarian versus Jonathan Gresham.
Are you kidding me? That's a pre-show match.
That's a pre-show match. My God, we're getting a gift with that one.
That is, but I'm like, dude, I'd pay for that. I'd drive if it was in Texas. I'd drive to go see it.
Yeah, but I've noticed Kazarian's getting a lot of pre-show matches. Now I don't know if that's just because they're relying on him to really pick the buys up or something, but he's been appearing on the pre-show a lot recently. So I don't know. That's interesting. Some other matches that were added that I don't have on the card that was in front of you. Ace Austin versus Trent Seven. And then we'll go through a few here. Do you guys want to pick all these that I've listed, or do you want to just go with the title matches? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, there's only 6. If you want to, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still TNA. We're going to get them wrong regardless.
Exactly.
It don't even matter.
And only 4 men in one match is the most. Come on, TNA. I'm disappointed.
I know they're not even trying anymore.
Surely they'll add 4 more people before
they're saving it for Texas. Damn it! All right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Jordan Grace versus Rosemary. Tommy, I got to start with you on this.
Shit, I knew you were going to. The second I saw it, I was like, "He's going to start with me, isn't he?" I said that when you said when I downloaded the format. I saw that. I was like, "He's going to pick me first for this match."
Oh, you know it. So yeah, good luck. What do you got? Decisions.
2 hours later.
While we're waiting on Tommy, if you got a pick, go ahead and put it in the live chat. So
I'll pick.
Screw
it! I'm picking Rosemary. Okay.
Rosemary.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow.
That was not easy. That was absolutely not easy. Oh, speaking of Jordan Grace, she's actually going to be in Texas in January. I don't know if you guys heard. VIP is having an all-women's show.
Oh, yeah.
They're crowned their first VIP women's champion.
Right.
She's in. So in New York. I think Alejandra's in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and Holly Dead. So basically, what I'm saying is, I'll see you January 31st.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike,
and Mike probably will be with me on this one. Okay?
Probably will.
I mean, if I can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jordan Grace on this one. Should be a fun match, and I love Rosemary and what she does with her character. And I know Jordan just lost the belts a couple months, last month, whatever it was. But I still think Jordan Grace is still one of your top draws, and it should be fun. But I'm gonna go with Grace.
Fair enough. I just
No,
I know.
I don't blame you, buddy.
I'm going with Jordan on this one as well, too. So
yeah, I fully I just can't not pick Rosemary.
all right. Next up, we have a 4-way match that determines the number 1 contender for the TNA World Championship at Genesis. Joe Hendry versus Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana versus Steve Macklin. Mike, what are you thinking?
I feel like there should be an obvious answer. But I also feel like TNA has made it clear that the obvious answer is not the obvious answer.
Yeah.
So I don't have a 4-sided dice in front of me. I don't know if I should go.
I have a 6-sided one.
I don't know if I should go with the person who has a J at the beginning of their name, or the person whose first 2 letters are S and M or M and S. By the way, I just noticed that as I was looking and trying to waste time. So, screw it. I'm going to go with Joe Henry.
All right.
Joe Henry. You got to get. Oh, yeah, you put Joe Henry. Okay, I was like, wait, I didn't read that wrong. It's okay. It's just.
Did I forget the R?
It's a small thing, but
too fast that I think.
Yeah, it happens to me. Don't worry. As a writer, I guarantee you that happens a lot.
Okay.
But I don't know. You got to keep him hot, right?
Yeah, you do. It's interesting though. I mean, I assume Nemeth is going to retain the way they're building this up. You give the rematch.
There's no way he's
already,
going to lose
you know.
to AJ Frank. I'll say, sorry, I'll give you away my pick for later. I was like,
Yeah,
sorry.
But I just don't know. Like you said, with Tina, you never know. So
You really don't. So I said there's no way, but yes, there is a way. There's 100% a way that he can lose it.
Let's see if this works. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 4.
A random number between 1 and 4 is 1.
All right, Joe Hendry. Anyway, so I guess I'm picking Joe Hendry. All right, Tommy. What about you?
Honestly, I was kind of gonna go. I was actually going Josh Alexander.
Okay.
Because he's been going heel. He already lost to Hendry once. I feel like he'd pin like Mike Santana or someone to kind of like. I feel like Joe Hendry will hit something. He'll throw Hendry out and pin whoever Hendry just hit. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't. Sometimes, but I
Say
can't.
that 5 times fast.
No, I almost broke my tongue saying it once.
Fair.
All right. On to the championship matches. The X Division Championship. I cannot believe Moose is still X Division champ. Moose defending against Kushida. Oh God. I know. But I'm gonna stick with Moose. He's.
I hate TNA. I hate picking TNA matches so much. I hate this.
He's gonna hang on to this shit to option C over and over as much as he can. Tommy, are we picking?
Moose, I guess. I don't know, dude. I got nothing this show. Why TNA? Like even their small little shows, small like not full on pay per view. Their special events. Why do they make this shit so hard?
This is TNA, man. It's
Because
so
they
hard.
hate you.
Yeah,
There's
just to
that
book
too.
it.
And I don't blame them. It's not, but I didn't know Lance White ran the company.
Well, we said hate you, not want to kill you. There is a
Yeah.
Okay. Maddie runs this company. I didn't know that either. My bad.
Mike, are you picking?
Moose.
Yeah.
The sadness in his voice.
I mean,
It's going to be an option C cash, and I just don't see him losing it at any point.
He's pretty threatening,
Yeah.
I don't want to piss him off.
At least they throw it an Ultimate X, and he can't climb up for some reason. TNA Tag Team Championship. The Hardys defending against the System. Tommy, what do you got?
I got the Hardys. I feel like they're not going to lose them and then back to the System, right? Because they had them before, so I don't feel like I'm going to lose them that soon. So, I got the Hardys.
By the way, this is a tables match.
Oh,
I forgot to mention that.
Then definitely the Hardys. That's like kind of their thing.
Mike?
Yeah, the Hardys also.
Yeah. Same for me, for sure. Tables kind of plays right into it. So, Knockouts Championship, Masha Slamovich versus Tasha Steelz.
Okay.
Mike, what do you got?
Masha Slamovich.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tasha Steelz is good and deserves a run at some point, but I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, I couldn't see them taking it off her this fast. So,
yeah, same. Sticking with Masha on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy?
Same. Sticking with Masha.
Right. And finally, the TNA Championship, Nick Nemeth versus AJ Francis. This is at a point right now where I feel like you have to pick Nick Nemeth until he loses because they are riding this pretty well with this title run. So I'm going with Nick Nemeth. Tommy, you kind of spoiled it a little earlier, but yeah, you just want to confirm?
Yeah. There's I can't see a world where that's where they're going to go with this. I can't. I just can't. Because if you did, the words "why" can't be screamed loud enough from me. Just so yeah.
All right, and Mike.
You remember back when it was Hendry and Nemeth at was it Bound for Glory or
Bound for Glory?
Bound for Glory, yeah.
Okay, and I said like if you're not gonna pull the trigger and put the title on Hendry, what are you even doing as a wrestling company? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say the opposite of that in this situation. If you pull the trigger and put the belt on AJ Francis, what are you even doing as a wrestling company? Mm-hmm. Full stop. Nemeth. It better be Nemeth, or I'm never picking a TNA show again.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I think about the last belt that AJ Francis had that he himself brought in, claimed it was new title, and then PCO beat him for it.
Yeah.
So why was it PCO? in this spot, because I want to see PCO get more title shots because that dude's legitimately like unhinged.
Also,
Yeah.
I bet Kurt Angle and the guy who's Uncle Howdy now could beat him at a rap battle. What's his name? Bo Dallas.
I believe it.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, real quick, let me put on my hip hop head hat for a second here. Bo Dallas would win because even in his like promos, the near poetry style he talks is good with floor Francis. So yeah.
But also, I'm calling back to either when he was the B team or the Entourage, which I feel like were kind of the same thing.
Pretty well.
They had some rapper in the ring, and Bo did like a rap.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
And it was actually really good. Yeah.
And then everyone, because I forget who the rapper was, but he legit got clowned on hip hop like Instagram sites for that.
Yeah.
Like they legit clowned him about that for like weeks after that happened. I remember that. Oh my god, I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, no to flop dollar. So
all right. Ultimate X is held hostage, huh? Did I miss that?
Because they just need to just go ahead and start using it more often.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, I, being a very spoiled person in real life, just want Ultimate X every month. I don't care what the conditions are.
Yeah.
I know that goes against everything I've said about having too many Hell in the Cell matches, but Ultimate X is a different beast altogether, so I don't care. So
well, also we haven't had enough to spoil it the way Hell in the Cell became, or
also fair.
So I mean.
This is also
because that's what makes it special, right? So.
Exactly.
All right. TNA's Final Resolution is this Friday, December 13th, 7 p.m. Central Time, taking place at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. The pre-show, I believe, is starting around 6 o'clock, probably through the TNA Plus or also on the TNA's YouTube. I can't recall where they usually put the pre-show. This event is exclusively on TNA Plus, and it is the last TNA Plus event of the year. So
I would use TNA Plus more often if I remembered I had it, but I do have it. So yeah,
yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I have it at the moment or not. I might.
I'm
I
assuming
can't recall if mine went over when it went Impact Plus to TNA Plus. I don't know if I still have it.
Wait, well, okay, now that you said that, I'm assuming I still have it. I haven't checked it.
Got to check my emails to see if
what's that app? Rocket something that pops up every day.
Rocket Money or something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
it's like, find all the things you're still accidentally paying for.
I'm starting to think. I used to laugh at that. Like, who doesn't keep track of the stuff? I was like, oh wait, I think I need that now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure I still have title match, which is cool for this weekend, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, let's get right to it. Time for the 1 minute warning. Mike, it sounds like you got something.
I do. And so, in the past month or so, we've talked about big wrestling weekends in San Antonio. Unfortunately, not a big weekend in San Antonio. However, the South Texas region is having a pretty decent weekend coming up. So I believe these are both on the 15th. But in Corpus on Sunday, Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance is having early checkout at Sunday. It's Sunday at 3 p.m. At the moment, Hybrid is in the middle of kind of an invasion over there. So I believe one of the main matches is Chris Marvel with a team of 4 versus Ben Galvan with a team of 4.
Nice. And
so Chris Marvel gets to pick 4 Hybrid people to be on his team. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. Also, we have Ridley Thorne versus Jasmine Allure, which, all down for. Sounds like something I wish I could go see. Celine Hysteria has a title match against Janai Kai, who recently, I don't know how recently, but sometime this year recently won the title from Jasmine Allure.
Yeah, that was pretty recent, actually.
Yeah, and I feel like there's one other Hybrid person in a match. I don't think it's Callie this time.
Thank God. I mean,
she's supposed to wrestle Jasmine Allure. Didn't that happen recently?
That's okay. That's coming up in January.
Okay.
Or no, December 28th at Hurricane Pro, which is in Beaumont. So
that's right.
Basically, if you want to drive to Louisiana, because normally, Hurricane Pro was out in Louisiana. So but the one I was talking about earlier is this Sunday in Corpus, 3 p.m. And then also down in the valley, which apparently is now at the McAllen High School gym,
Really?
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. That's what I saw in one of the posts. So it's the Texas Wrestling League, and there's a bunch of other matches, but specifically, as I want to point out, good friend and family of the WrestleCast, Denise Day, has a title match against another friend of the show, although not quite as close. NWA Exodus Women's Champion Tiffany Nieves, which should be a hell of a match. Obviously, those of you who know are following of Mission Pro, Tiffany was champion there for a good year or so. Took that belt while she was Mission Pro champion all over the place, while she was doing NWA stuff and other places, OVW, things like that. And so, unfortunately, recently, Denise Day lost her Amazing Pro Wrestling, which I think is another Laredo organization, to the bombshell Haley Danielle, who sometimes is her partner, sometimes is her foe, as you know, the wrestling schools tend to do. So, Denise has got some room for another belt. And, beating Tiffany would be a huge accomplishment. I'd really put your name out there. So, we're supporting you, Denise. Go get that belt. And then we'll cash up your money to go buy some tacos and manula after the show if you win it. It's on us. All right, So there you go.
And to be clear, Tiffany doesn't mean I love you any less. Just because
right. It's just some people are family and some people are really good friends. It's
that's
close.
True. That's true.
If it's at I got you.
Okay.
If it's at the Mac High Gym, that's actually right across the street from.
I think that's what I saw. Like it was supposed to be in Far or somewhere else down in the valley, and then I heard it got moved.
Well, that means it's probably sold a lot because McAllen's got a much better setup than Far does.
Okay.
And if it's at the Mac High Gym, like I said, it's right across the street from my Antlers.
And they do have some good names on the rest of the show too. Obviously, we're biased because Denise is our friend, but and Tiffany's been on our show,
And Janai won the GCWA Women's title back in August.
Was it August? Okay, I felt like it was a little bit closer, but cool.
Yeah. Well, because she faced Ridley to defend it back in October.
Right. Yeah. So
now
Celine has her shot.
Yeah.
Tom, you got some this week?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Before it's over, whenever you're ready.
Shout out to Hybrid for this weekend. They once again drew one of the biggest crowds of the weekend. Although hands down the biggest crowd at the event was the Ed and Nettie panel, but very close second or third, whatever you want to say it. And they're in the top of drawing crowds. No matter what was going on, the Hybrid school wrestling drew a huge crowd. Shout out to Skip Sterling and Brian Donovan who voiced two characters in Naruto, because they actually got involved in Brandon Weiss and Animo's match because they were dressed as Mike Guy and Rock Lee from Naruto. It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. And so it was just great. Shouts out to them. They were great sports. They wanted to do it too, by the way. They were having a great time. A lot of celebrities again, like last year, like May. It wasn't a year ago. It was back in May.
Yeah,
I keep doing that. Back in May.
Yeah.
Stop to see the see the wrestling. Like even if they were like walking to go get lunch or whatever, they would stop what they were doing just to watch the wrestling. Even if it wasn't for a full match, either way they were providing entertainment for the crowd. So
nice.
Shouts out to Hybrid and shouts out to Animo who won the Rumble at the end of the weekend to become
that's king. What it was. Okay.
He won the King of NostalgiaCon Rumble. So,
nice.
Oh, and there may or may not be a video that the views later of Hit slapping me again.
Okay. Let's just see if that pops up on the channel.
There may or may not be another video.
Wow. Okay. One other thing to add to that, just because I was watching it when it was going on, go find Diego Rene's social media, specifically his Instagram Live. There's a video of him about 30 minutes before the match starts, just interacting with the crowd and walking around the con. Trash talking people, being nice to some people. And I actually, under the WrestleCast Instagram, was like, go find Tommy or whatever. And he's like, I think Tommy's doing a panel. But he walked to the back of the crowd of the panel stage while you were doing one, zooms in on you, and was like, look, this is the quietest I've ever seen Tommy, because you were letting the panel talk. But then at the end of the live, you finish your panel while he's in the ring, and you come up and you talk trash. So it's great.
Wait, I did see him back there. I was wondering what he was doing backstage.
Oh, that's what it was. He was on live. It's hilarious. Go check it out.
Wow.
Oh, I will have my revenge. And also, and also, shouts out to to the cast of Ned's Declassified. They weren't by the ring this time, but there was a Falls Count Anywhere match that just happened to go over by their table, and I got a quick clip of them while Hit was hitting Brandon Weiss. I believe that's who was fighting. I can't remember. There was a lot of fighting going on for a convention. Well, some conventions end up being
Hit really did pick a perfect name for himself.
He really did.
He really did. So yeah, but just shouts out to Hybrid. They killed it again. Given where they were placed at the con, they were kind of they didn't really have like the the entryway that they probably would like to have had. But it was a really, really cool way how they did it, and they worked with the convention, and they made it work, and they really pulled off a great 3 days of shows. Mm-hmm. And considering half their talent kept having to go to other cities all throughout the weekend.
Yeah, like half of them drew back to Bernie for that.
Yeah. So
the Iron Claw thing, the Von Erich.
Yeah, I hope everyone stayed healthy from that, because I know it was wild this weekend with the weather.
Yeah.
We still managed to play in a tournament Sunday.
And then even with all that, Sunday they still have to break the ring down and then get it back to San Antonio. So
Mm-hmm.
And they were right back training on Monday.
Yep.
That's the life, right?
That's dedication.
Yep. My one warning is going to not be so much wrestling related, but it is going to involve storylines, if you will. And I know I'm so busy. I haven't been on the Geekcast episode in a long time, but I do need to shout out Steady and Retro Ray for their interview with Alex Garfin. Superman and Lois, if you don't know, the series just wrapped up.
Oh, so good.
It was such a great finish. It was
amazing. That was a great show.
I would dare I say it rivals Krypton as one of the best iterations of the character Doomsday. But I loved Superman and Lois from start to finish. I love the way it ended. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Tyler Hoechlin, Bitsy Tulloch are arguably the best versions of Clark Kent Superman and Lois Lane that has ever graced the screen, whether the small screen or the big screen. Alex Garfin was awesome as Jordan Kent. And that interview that they had on Friday Night Live was amazing, learning so much about him. He shared some stories backstage, which was really, really cool. And he teased that there could be more that he'll share on behind-the-scenes stuff when this season of Superman and Lois that just wrapped makes it onto Max. Still, the show was amazing. It wraps up the Arrowverse, and it's just awesome that the TV versions of the DC world started with Superman in Smallville and ends with Superman and Lois, ironically also in Smallville.
Yeah.
A lot of the sets they used in Superman and Lois were the same sets they used in Smallville since they took place in Vancouver. So
I thought so.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. And on a side note of that, I'm actually rewatching Smallville to go along with the Talkville podcast with Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum. They just finished season 5. They're halfway through that.
Dang.
And it's great memories going back and watching this, hearing some of the behind the scenes stories. And yeah, it's pretty cool because they get some of the creators on there. They get actors, guests. James Marsters was in there earlier this season for it too. So excited because season 6 is coming up, and that was one of my favorite seasons, being the first time we saw the Justice League together in the Smallville world. So, but yeah, I wish I could get on the Geekcast more often. I'm trying. Life is just so crazy, but I just wanted to share my quick thoughts because people know I'm such a big Superman fan. Yeah. Superman and Lois was amazing.
It was.
It was its own Earth. It was its own story, and it was awesome. And pretty awesome. So yeah.
I was gonna say, I know we're still talking wrestling, but just out of all iterations of Superman, this might have been one of my top favorites because I love how they pulled it off. And I meant to tell Ted and Ray this. I was a little jealous because I was doing the con, so I got to do all cool stuff, but that was really cool too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the show deserved at least 2 seasons.
JC, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
First off, the podcast that they do they just keep trudging? Do they not take breaks or timeouts of not podcasting for a couple weeks, or do they just trudge through every week? And
the Geekcast, you mean?
No. The Talkville.
Oh, they go once they start a season. They go every week until it's done, and then they'll take some weeks off between seasons.
Okay.
So they'll do like a best of whatever. I think they just wrapped season. Literally, the episode for season 5 just came. The finale season 5 just came out today. He said on it they're gonna wait a few weeks. Probably after the new year, they'll start season 6.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I haven't submitted a question yet to answer, but there's one that I want to ask about when they get to. I think it's season 8, when the writer's strike was involved. That was going on at the time. And there was one episode where they filmed a couple of endings in case that there was going to be a season finale. So I'm going to submit a question about that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. They're still going strong with it, and it's pretty awesome. So.
Second question. So just to confirm, you like this version of Clark and Lois better than Tom and Erica?
Ooh. Okay. I said Clark's Superman.
Okay.
Because
that's fair.
Tom was never really Superman.
Right, I got you.
He was Clark Kent.
Fair.
Now, if you want me to compare Lois Lane's, Erica Durance is the best Lois Lane that's ever done. I will say that. But as a Superman, like this was amazing.
Yeah, I've heard.
The chemistry was awesome. Yeah.
Once it's all seasons are on, I do want to go stream through it and binge it. One other thing, this is a comment, not a question. The Arrowverse crossover where they go and visit Clark years later in the when all the world was it Elseworlds or the worlds are dying.
Crisis.
Yeah.
They go back to
Smallville.
Tom
to Smallville. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was such a great scene. With
her
Lex showing up and thinking he's still got the powers, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I said this when we talked about it too on Geekcast at the time, because that Clark has actually already gone through the crisis, because there was a Smallville comic, the Smallville season 11 comics, and it went through that whole storyline. There was even a point in that story where Clark gets a lantern ring too. But if you watch Smallville, I mean, Clark just wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
And to have that normal life, that was the perfect way for his character to end. And he literally said it. They wrote the perfect thing he couldn't say no to. Mm-hmm. That was really the perfect ending for Smallville Clark. And pretty awesome. Like, he lived a Superman life. He wants a normal life. And, and in a way, we kind of got that with Superman and Lois without spoiling too much. That's how it ended. And it was pretty cool. So, yeah.
Cool.
But there are no more Arrowverse shows. I'm sad.
Yeah.
I freaking love the Arrowverse, man.
It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it this way, and this, just so we can, I guess, put a bow on this. For all the faults and that the Arrowverse may have had, and it wasn't perfect.
No.
But my God, they put effort into every single thing they did in every single show. And it showed. And they gave it love and attention. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, but because I know Sandy's not going to like to hear this.
Uh-oh.
But especially when the DCU was doing what it was doing at the time, and the Arrowverse felt like a more consistent...
Okay, that's
you know what I mean.
Except for the last season of the Flash. If you
I know.
So, okay, that's what I said. It wasn't perfect, but sorry, Ted, but I gotta say Mike's right. There was way more consistency with the
Arrowverse. That's
Arrowverse.
okay. I'm sure Steady's gonna throw up a Restore the Snyderverse hashtag soon, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of hinted that Clark we saw in the Crisis wasn't exact as Clark.
Tom
Infinite
and
that's how that works.
Tom and Michael have hinted they want to do like an animated thing or something like that. Continue that story.
That.
So, yeah. But I mean, if it is.
I'm all for DC animation. DC animation still hasn't let me down.
I have said let Zack Snyder finish his story. No. Finish his story as animated movies. Let it happen. I mean, it would be awesome. So that's all I'm gonna say. But fuck WB for screwing that up. Fuck Warner Brothers for screwing that up.
You think COVID was dark times? Having to live with this guy and Ted during what the Snyderverse should have been.
But we got it.
Man.
We got what I will say is the best superhero movie of all time.
This man could
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes, we'll go through this argument again. Endgame was great. I love it, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is the best superhero movie of all time, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, dude, no.
You guys.
No, fam.
All right.
No,
well, that's a whole other argument. Let's because we have
to go into Countdown City superhero cast because fam. Nah, I'm with Michael on this one. Nah,
That's a
man.
debate for another time. That's a debate for another time. I guess.
Ant-Man 3 was better than
Oh my
Justice
God!
League.
Asshole.
The Marvels was better.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sick of everyone hating on the Marvels.
Marvels was good.
That was a good
That
movie.
was a good movie.
So then you agree with me. Exactly.
I don't agree with you on that. I just said the Marvels was
Boom,
good.
set you up.
You asshole.
Jason said I'm out.
Oh, well, I guess people are going to be debating me in the next wrestling show I get to attend. So
Probably. And the best superhero movie ever cannot have a Nordic woman singing to a sweater for no reason. Okay, just it can't. So let's stop.
You're wrong.
If I'm on my own, fine. I'll hold it. It's never been a problem for me. I have my opinions and I stick with it. So, because believe me, Steady and I don't think The Last Jedi was that bad as Steady makes it out to be. That's another debate.
You were probably part of that huge bot group that voted Flash entering the Speed Force as the most cheer-worthy, as that somehow that was better than Portals. Get out of here.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's
I don't even know what that was.
lunacy.
Yeah. So. I love you guys.
So I hope you've enjoyed the last 30 minutes of the Countdown City
Yeah,
Geekcast.
right?
We're going to finish off with Countdown City WrestleCast now.
Yeah, can't say superhero.
What is going on this weekend? TNA Final Resolution is Friday on TNA Plus, 7 p.m. Central Time, taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. WWE's Saturday Night Main Event is this Saturday, also at 7, but on NBC and simulcasting on Peacock as well. Next week, we'll talk about Final Resolution. We'll talk about Main Event. We'll preview the Hybrid Experience event that is happening on December 21st. And I believe that might be our last show of the year. The following week is Christmas. I think our next show is going to be January 1st after that, probably. We'll talk about Wrestle Kingdom at that point, and we'll have our year-end awards for 2024 at that time as well. So,
And I know you were one of the bots that voted for it. You don't get to put the lightning up there.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking. Oh, Steady? Probably.
Yeah.
Um,
there are very few scenes in all of cinema to me that are as good as the Portal scene in Endgame.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sorry.
No,
Mark,
I know. That is an amazing scene. I'm
Sorry,
not
Mark,
hating on
appreciate it.
Endgame. I loved Endgame. I really did.
And actually, if you're going to talk about the better movie, it actually is Infinity War as an overall movie. So
Actually, yeah, that's true.
You kind of have to watch those movies together as one. You have to treat.
So
Infinity
put them
War
together
Endgame-
like Zach made a 4-hour cut. Now this Steady, I will agree with you on, obviously.
Yes, she was amazing.
Also,
Yes.
I don't have the picture easily available, but the picture where she's staring madly into Steady's eyes at that Flash movie event that Steady was at getting interviews.
You mean that moment where Steady was ready to? Man, he
Yeah.
was about to risk it all. My homie was about to risk it all.
We will find that picture again and we'll post it on the show one day.
Yeah.
And Steady,
that
we don't blame you.
Risk it all.
We don't blame you at all. We're just saying.
that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
For one reason only is that my daughter finally got to see her favorite superhero on the big screen for the very first time. in her
Okay,
life,
that's fair.
That's
fair.
I'll give you for that reason.
Yeah, so that was seeing my daughter's reaction was amazing. Oh gosh. He knows.
Yeah, by the way, this man interviewed on red carpets, just off the top of my head, Sasha Kaye and Sydney Sweeney. So Steady's wanted life. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. I'm already
yeah.
jealous.
Oh yeah,
So,
no
So.
kidding.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We do appreciate it. Over here we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Big Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm the guy everyone seems to be turning against just for one little opinion. But thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
You're the Roman Reigns of the.
See y'all, everybody.
Boom. Adios, Gunther. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Bye, Angel.